Hi guys, it's the 16th of Feb 26. Just out feeding my horse at the moment, and it's just really peaceful, really placid and peaceful out here. Fortunately they have several horses out here, which is really lovely because I take them carrots every day, and there is just so much. I wish I could understand what horses were saying when they were looking at each other, honestly. I think everybody would have so much to learn. Oh, not bad on your road, mate. He wants to go to his A. At least he stopped. I was just having what I call a little brief chat with myself, with God. It might sound a little bit weird, crazy to some people, but it's not for me. And more often than not, when I'm doing that, something, a little inkling comes in the back of my mind and says, you've got to take this, Tony, you've got to take it. Because sometimes I find myself sharing things and saying things that I'm sort of answering my own question, or sort of encroaching on a topic or an area within my own personal growth. That it's not that I wasn't aware of it. I wasn't aware that the answer was going to come, or not so much the answer, but some helpful information would come. Short and sweet of it. I just realised before that, and I've shared a million times, I feel like my life's just taken a completely different shift since Mum has passed. And yes, I've still got a lot to deal with there. I really do. So much anger and just, I was going to say hatred, but I don't like that term, hatred, but definitely a lot of anger that I need to deal with. But the word fear kept on coming up in my mind just before, when I was sort of chatting by myself, and it feels like a different fear. I don't know if that makes any sense to anybody else, but it does for me. I'm fearful of the future. I'm fearful of moving forward. I was absolutely mortified, petrified of. It was like an intangible feeling, this intangible fear that just conjured up so much emotion and so much anger and hatred, and I don't know. I was wanting to say lesser of the two evils, but whether to move forward, whether to stay still. But previous, my fears were so engulfing that they would either numb me, or I would just go on this little journey in my mind, and it would go to the point that I would give myself a panic attack. Truly, I'd give myself a panic attack. The fear that I'm wanting to talk about just at the moment, it feels somewhat a more tangible feel, or fear. And it's not as scary as what my previous fear was. Now, bear in mind, this is just for the moment. This is just for today and just for the moment. I might be in a completely different headspace when I get home today after, feeding my horse and being out here. This is it's like my little retreat out here. If anything, it's just quiet, it's peaceful. I don't have people to deal with. There's no neighbours to deal with. Not that I have a problem with my neighbours, don't get me wrong. I don't have a problem with any of my neighbours. But what I meant is that it's just so quiet. I don't hear them. I don't hear anybody. And I like that. I savour the peace. And that's my horse, not me. This fear. I have fears of the possibilities in recovery. I have fears of the possibilities in life. But it doesn't have to overwhelm me. It does not have to overwhelm me. I have a choice. I don't know if I'm being a little bit too bold by saying that. not arrogant. I'll stay with the term bold by even saying that. It's a nice feeling. It's a nice feeling to not allow those feelings to overwhelm me to the point of, like I said, a panic attack, or just becoming so encompassing that I just can't even bloody move. I just paralysis. Can't move. I just, it doesn't have to be that way today. Did I know that there was a choice around that? Absolutely not. No, I didn't know there was a choice around that. There are so many things in life or in recovery itself that I honestly didn't know that there was a choice about. And even being open to embracing that is, I'm not going to say a challenge within itself. It's nice that I can actually say that I am open and willing to embrace, excuse me, those fears that will come up and those choices that will come up with those fears, of where and what direction I want to go in recovery. I keep saying, force of habit, I think. But one thing I've always been grateful for, any little bit of growth that I've had, I've always been grateful. I still struggle with gratitude about my story or my experience being my experience. And I've heard people share things towards or allude to, same thing. I've read, paragraph on paragraph, people that got to a certain point or a significant point in their personal recovery and not knowing whether this option is a choice or not, or not knowing whether the fears around the choice are the option. So much to think about, hey? So trying to keep it as simple as possible, but it really, I heard someone share one time about how intricate the process or the process of dysfunction and how far it can actually go. The not just the traumatic part of it, but any part of that trauma-based experience. It really is extremely bloody scary, how far that can actually take. And it's like little tentacles in an octopus. That's how they explained it. It's like watching little tentacles of an octopus, and they can climb in and out of these tiny little holes and these tiny little cracks, and then there's bigger areas that they can just move on through. And that's kind of like life itself, if anything. Be it before, be it after coming into recovery. Beforehand, all I could feel were the feelings, those exacerbated feelings, those overwhelming feelings, those feelings that would push me to the point of self-harm. And it's not a nice place to be, Unlived. It really is not a nice place to be. So to come into recovery, I mean, I'm nearly 33 something years sober, and I don't want to say it's sad it's taken me this long to get to this point, because it probably has needed to take that long for me to get to this point, because it's not a one-day show, and it's not a get up, sign up and walk away and you got it. It's definitely not that. It's a case of get up again every day, sign up again every day, and that's as in an analogy, not so much physically, and keep moving forward every day. And there are days that I probably feel that I don't move forward. And there are days that I've probably taken a few steps back. Not that I want to sound poetic, because I often hear people talk about that. But to get to those choices and those things that I've just shared about within myself, I really do believe that it has required this amount of time. I didn't get sick overnight. I was born into a sick, dysfunctional family, but I didn't get sick overnight, as in mentally, emotionally, spiritually sick overnight. I didn't. It took living in a family for 18, 19 years, and I'm not blaming my family. It's, I've got my part in there too. I can't just point the fingers at mum and dad, because I've got my part in there too. It's, and everybody has something that they need to look at. Everybody has an element of trauma and pain, whether they can see it or not. Few and far between that I've met that people can say, well, I've never had anything like that ever happen. And I don't know whether to say that's fortunate or not, because those cracks and those pain barriers, that's how some people form their backbone. I don't know if I want to say that's how I formed my backbone, because I'm still asking if I got one. Well, obviously I've got one. Everyone's got a backbone on a physical basis. But mentally, emotionally, I'm still working at strengthening mine. I really am. Even though at 21, 22, when I was competing in powerlifting, when I was in training for the Nationals, I was selected to represent Australia in the Nationals, I had 2 very severe accidents that basically gave me permanent damage in my back. And I still wear that damage today, but I've been able to live with it. I've learnt to live with it, and have worked out what it is I need to do when those things are arcing up, when my disc might turn or whatever it be. I've been able to be patient enough and ask the right people, and they've been able to help me work my way through it. So I've sort of got a few things that I can do if I end up in that position. If all else fails, go back and see them again. But that's the physical side of it. Learning to embrace, learning to even acknowledge that there is an element of strength there. It's really hard. It's like taking a compliment. It's lovely getting a compliment, but I hate getting a compliment. So if you can take the pivotal point of either end of the spectrum there and somehow work that one out. I love compliments, but I hate them at the same time. I love them in the sense that it hits a part inside of me that helps me to feel good about me. But when I'm given a compliment, it's like I just want to go away. I don't want the compliment. I don't want it. But I do, but I don't. Work that one out. Yeah, that's a real esteem thing, that is, to whether to or whether not to be able to accept a compliment. There is so much to be said for loving oneself. There really is. There's so much to be said for growing up, for being brought up, not just growing up, for being brought up in a healthy, grounded, healthy parents, not perfect, but healthy parents, family. There's so much to be said for that. God, this one fly, I tell you what, he's not going to be flying very soon. I'll make him walk everywhere in a minute. Okay, don't go reporting me. I'll have the RSPCA or whatever after me for pulling wings off flies. Yeah. I didn't want to talk for long. It's about 15 minutes, and I think that's probably plenty. But I just wanted to touch base on that, to be able to grab the moment when it's there, grab the information, or grab the knowledge, or grab the whatever it is that God is saying to me. And I hope I don't sound like a freak to people. I believe in God. I believe there has to be a spiritual entity of something in this world. There has to be. Things just can't grow and move forward, and there's always a sciencey term for rainbows and all that sort of stuff, for rain and how it falls and all that. But Mother Nature, God, whatever one wants to choose to call it, there is some form of energy in this world that is unshakable. It really is unshakable. Yeah. Learning to tap into it, learning to accept, what it is, what it encompasses, and what one can draw from it. Yeah. I'm very grateful. Very, very grateful. And I keep saying that every time. Flies. Each time I share. And if I didn't believe it when I first started saying, because I didn't, my sponsor said to me, "Tony, that was the horse again." My sponsor said, "Just keep saying it. Just keep saying it. Just keep showing up. Just keep doing it. Even if you feel like it's wrong inside, keep doing it." And here I am. I'm keeping doing it. And I think, if anything, I will keep on doing it. But, yes, obviously everything's changed in my life, and it will continue to change, because that's the way it's meant to be. I can't stay 50, nearly 58. I can't stay 58 or 57 forever, and I won't. Already on a physical basis, I sense the difference between being a 19-year-old to being a 57-year-old. My balance is a little bit off on the odd occasion. But, I'm not as quick as what I used to be. Being a woman, my nails are starting to go all menopause. The nails are going all yucky, and so things are changing. Whether I like it or not, things are changing, and I can definitely see where there's room for a whole lot of growth. Yep. But I am very, very grateful for the growth that I have had. So I hope you all have a really good day, and look after yourselves.